Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Cyberdark deck. Now Cyberdarks are just these machine type monsters that equip dragon type monsters from the graveyard. I've had a Cyberdark deck for a while, I just decided to update it and change some stuff around. So first off, we have Cyberdark Edge. All the Cyberdarks pretty much do the same thing, they equip a level 3 or lower dragon type monster and then they gain the attack. And then on top of that they all gain additional effects, but they all have 800, 800. The only difference is their additional effect. Like Edge can attack directly, but he gets cut in half. Horn does piercing battle damage, and Keel does additional damage when he destroys a monster by battle, which is pretty nice. All the Cyberdarks also protect themselves. Basically, if they would get destroyed by battle, the equipped monster gets destroyed, which is nice. Then we have Hunter Dragon. So Hunter Dragon's a 1700 attack with a 3-star, giving the Cyberdarks 2500 attack on summon, which is very, very powerful. So this turns them into very strong beaters. Then we have Exploder Dragon. Obviously 1000 attack boost, but more so the fact that Exploder Dragon can destroy a lot of things, which is very useful. Armageddon Knight, very useful to send things to the graveyard. We can do this with Hunter Dragon very nicely. Obviously it doesn't work with the Dragunities, which is kind of annoying, but still can be very useful overall. And then the Dragunities that we're running, Aklys and Phalnax, both 2-star tuners, both giving us access to synchros. Phalnax allowing us to synchro summon a lot faster, and Aklys allowing us to kind of have revenge when he gets destroyed, which is very, very nice. Allowing you to keep your Cyberdark on the field and also, pay back your opponent. And then we have Dark Arm Dragon. Obviously we do have somewhat of a mix of Dark and other types, but we do have a good amount of Dark, so I like having Dark Arm Dragon, especially due to the fact that we're doing a lot of sending to the graveyard. Mass Dragon, allowing us to bring out the dragons we want, which is pretty nice for the Dragunities and Exploder Dragon. And also, obviously, he can give your Cyberdarks a 1400 boost. Then we have MST, Forbidden Lance, good for protecting our cards. Dragon Shrine, great in this deck, sending dragons to the graveyard. Allure of Darkness, Dark Hole, and Limiter Removal. For the traps, pretty much stable traps, not too much to say there. For the extra deck, we're going to have, a variety of XYZs and also some synchros. So Gachi Gachi and Daigusto with the Dragunities. A few of the 3-stars because we have definitely a decent amount of 3-stars in this deck that can get out pretty easily. And then obviously with the Cyberdarks and Armageddon Knight, we can get out 4-stars. And, our Cyberdarks are going to be protecting themselves as well, so they'll stay out, longer than you'd expect them to. So we have, Master Key Beetle because they're all dark, Solemn Warning, Exciton Knight, Gagaga Cowboy, Gear Gigant because they're machines, allowing us to recycle and search out what we need, which is very, very nice. We're also going to have, 5 and 6-star synchros because we can get them out pretty easily. So Catastor, Armades, HTS, and Vulcan. Obviously, there's other ones you can run. We also have Black Rose in case you want to upgrade, from one of your other synchros. You can also put in 8-stars if you want to upgrade, like from the 6-star synchros, but that's a bit much. Definitely up to you. I think all the Dragunity synchros use Winged Beasts, so that kind of makes it difficult to do what you want to do if you wanted to implement more Dragunities into this deck. So I'm using just more staple synchros, but it's still running decently well. So now for the side deck. Again, side decks in my videos are kind of just recommended cards that can also work with the main deck. It isn't necessarily a side deck for matches. These are cards, I want you to think about when you're building your own Cyberdark deck. You can think about the other combinations. Obviously we're running Dragunities in this deck. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Dragunities, and there's a bunch of others you can run. You can run Corsica to search out. You can run Pilum, which gives you 1400 boost, which is nice. And you can also, do direct damage, which is nice in combination with some of the other effects. Brandistock can allow your Cyberdarks to attack twice, but they won't be very strong. Armed Dragon is a really interesting card in this deck. You can run Armed Dragon. He'll get destroyed by his own effect, and then you can use him from the graveyard for your Cyberdarks. So that's definitely an interesting choice. 1200 attacks, not too bad. Cyber Dragon, you can run this, run the Cyber Fusion, stuff like that. There's a lot of other level 2 dragons you can run. Magna Drago, Dread Dragon. There's a bunch of them. A lot of them are tuners as well. So that can lead into some very interesting combos. You can also run Red Eyes Darkness. Obviously, this isn't like a dragon deck. It's, more of a machine deck with some dragon support. So that's why I'm not running this, but you definitely can because we do have, a good amount of dragons in the deck, and that can be useful. Cyberdark Impact, that's how you can bring out Cyberdark Dragon. But again, costs a lot of resources, and I'm not sure if it's really worth it. You can definitely do OTKs with that, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but definitely a choice there. Dragon Mastery, if you're running a lot of Dragunities, you can use this card to really pump up your cards on the field, which is really interesting, can lead you to some very powerful plays. Monster Reincarnation could be great for this deck, you know, dumping the dragons, getting what you need back. Dark Eruption, the Cyberdarks all have really low attack normally, so you can use this to get them. And the viruses, because you're boosting your Cyberdarks, you can use the deck viruses really easily, which is really nice if they're going to get destroyed. And a card like Relieve Monster is good, just to kind of exchange 4 stars, because the Cyberdarks gain their effects, you know, on normal summon, so you want to be able to, you know, possibly bring them back and then normal summon them again to reuse the monsters from the graveyard. So that's my Cyberdark deck. Pretty simple, just, you know, using dragons from the graveyard. Not the most competitive thing in the world, but definitely is pretty fun and has some potential. Your opponent really won't see, you know, 2,500 attack monsters coming, you know, on the first or second turn out of a normal summon, which is really nice. So can definitely lead you to some things. And when they're getting backed up by XYZs, it's also very nice as well in case you lose your equip cards. You know, that's the big problem. After you lose your equip cards, you have an 800 attack monster on the field that's not doing much for you. But if you guys have your own Cyberdark decks, you could post below, let me know in the comments. You could talk about the cards you use, and you can make suggestions for me. Maybe there's some cards I didn't think about that could be really useful. I'd definitely love to hear that. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.